Hello everyone, my name is Camila Perez, and for today's presentation, I'm going to be talking about the Second Date Update podcast episode, Broken Dreams. To give a little bit of information about the Second Date Update podcast, Broken Dreams, this podcast was based on a couple going on their first ever date, Justin and Naomi. Justin and Naomi met on a dating website, and they decided to have their first date at a restaurant. And taken back, Justin did mention that it was a nice restaurant, maybe a little bit too nice for their first date. So everything is perfect. Justin and Naomi are at the restaurant, they're sitting down, they're conversating, they're having a good time, when they notice that the couple next to them, the man has gotten down on one knee and he is proposing to his girlfriend. Everyone in the restaurant gets excited, everyone's congratulating them, and the man then turns to Justin and tells him, "This can be you someday." This makes the situation a little awkward for Justin and Naomi since they are just in their first date. They barely know each other. They don't know that much information about each other, so this puts them in a very tight situation and kind of blocks their conversation. Justin then decides to do something a little bit awkward that he agrees on in the podcast that he shouldn't have done. He then fake proposes to Naomi at the restaurant right after the other proposal. Obviously, she says yes, and this leaves their date being very awkward. Naomi feels as this is something that he shouldn't have done. He's just trying to brush it off, trying to continue their date, end it off, and this just sets them off in a very awkward note at the end of the date. The date ends. It turns out Naomi never contacts Justin ever again. Justin tries reaching out to her for a second date, but she never contacts him again. He doesn't know what he did wrong. He agrees that maybe proposing to her on the date was a little bit awkward, but he didn't think that it was enough for her to never contact him ever again. The podcast then continues, and after Justin tells the story, they then call Naomi onto the podcast and make her explain on why she doesn't want to contact Justin. She said that he overstepped in that situation and it was something that he shouldn't have done. And the main reason why she never went on a date with him is because that same night she went home and she had a dream that they did get married, but then further on in the dream they got divorced. So that left her knowing that her dream told her that she should not continue with Justin. So she took that as a sign from her dreams to not continue on with him. So that is why she never contacted him back. Leading on to the connection that I've made with the class in this podcast, I've noticed that there was some conflict and power situation. So Naomi holds the power in this conflict between her and Justin. She does not want a second date with him, even though Justin tried reaching out in multiple ways. Naomi still ends up rejecting him every single time. Therefore, she has power in this situation. So at the end of the day, no matter how much Justin tries, no matter what he does, and try to fix this conflict that happened in their first date, Naomi at the end of the day has the upper hand and decides whether or not they will continue. And her power ultimately shows that this relationship will not continue on with Jason. Thank you for listening to my presentation.